Many people in the diaspora are really keen and interested to come back to Jamaica, and they've been hearing lots of different stories, some of them not as honest as stories need to be, and it puts them in a position where they're feeling a little bit afraid and worried about coming home. So I'm going to be introducing you to Raquel. Her channel is Returnee Rack on YouTube, and you can go there and watch her content because she provides some vibrant content about her return. I'm just going to ask her a few questions just to help some of you with understanding the processes of what life is like now in 2025 in Jamaica.
The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan, pick up yourself. But there, yada, you're there, abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fam. So, Raquel, thank you. Welcome.
Yeah.
Yep. And so Raquel just came up to visit me and brought me some plantings and stuff, and I'll show you some of that because that's what we do here on the island.
Yes.
We have to share.
We have to share because it's a lot in the UK. We have to buy. We have to buy planting. 3 planting. Somebody told me yesterday it's like 3 planting. I was like for two pounds or something like that. And I said we're so blessed, Kenya. I have my planting tree at the back.
Definitely.
So when we plant our stuff, then we can share it. So coming back to Jamaica, you know, a lot of people complain that it's very expensive living in Jamaica. Be honest, it depends on the life you're living. You know, if you have a piece of land, you can do a little farming, which is much better. Do you think, Kenya?
Yes, I do think so. Because if you plant, you know exactly what you're getting. You plant what you want, and anything excess, some people sell it, some people share it, and then the bartering system means I have this, I give it to you, you have that, you give it to me, and so we buy a lot less. And especially for us, we tend to buy a lot of stuff because we come with children who have certain taste buds, and we have to meet those needs. But people who are coming who don't have children and they're just coming as adults, it will be a lot more affordable for them.
Yes, definitely, especially the Jamaican that are more accustomed to their food, like the potatoes, the yam, the stuff like that. They're so expensive in the UK. When you come here now, you can enjoy them. You really can. You don't have to worry that you can't buy a piece of yam or stuff like that because it is much, much cheaper.
That is so true. And your neighbor will share with
and your
you.
Definitely. And your neighbor will share. And, you know, especially the returnee community like me, Kenya, and, you know, my friend all over, they have things they call it and they give you. So we save a lot of money on that. You know what, Kenya? I was even thinking the other day when I went and I picked my Cersei off the fence, you know, all my bush tea. I'm thinking like, but that's saving me a lot of money because I'm not buying them. I'm getting them, and it's also natural and free. So sometimes when we compare about things are expensive, when you come and live here, you find out that food-wise it's still been cheap because you can get it free. Depends on how you live with people.
That's true. And even with the bills, and I know people cry how expensive JPS is, but that too depends on where you live, how the people on the grid using it, if people are all legally or not, and the appliances you have in your house that you're using.
Yeah, because when I say my bill is like 5,000, 3,000, people is like, what? And it's like, yes, because it depends on how you use your bill. I have an air conditioner. I don't use it during the day because to me, well, I don't mind the heat. I just use it to cool my house and my room. When I'm going to sleep, I don't sleep in my AC. Because you know, if you sleep in the AC, know, it's going to be a lot more expensive. And my water bill, I just use my water in moderation. I don't do it because I don't wash every day. I just wait until the weekend. I just do big one washing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's much, much cheaper than the UK.
I really find my water is a lot less, and even though we use washing machine and it use lots of water, but it's still less my bill compared to when I was in the UK for the water.
Yeah, and another thing I know that a lot of people is scared of coming back home is the first thing they're going to say, oh, the health service. Oh, there's no health service in Jamaica. And you're looking and thinking like, are you for real? So people that don't leave Jamaica, people here that don't leave Jamaica, how do you think they survive? Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah.
And especially people that go into the UK and they work a lot of money, they have the money. You come, you pay a doctor. Do you understand me? You're going to pay your money and you get your service. But the thing about, I'm sorry to say, but because of especially we Jamaican, that go back to the United Kingdom, we come and being dependent on freeness. Oh, the free health service. Oh, the free, you're not happy. But then you waited. Like a friend of mine, she's coming to look for me. And she took her husband to the doctor in the UK. And when she told me that they diagnosed him with a heart condition, but they put him on a waiting list for until November. Come on, it is now, what we're in now? We're in June. And then you're going to wait until November. And that's freeness. Can you believe it?
Yeah. I
came down here the other day and my husband, he found a little lump on his breast and he was like a bit concerned. And then, he had a classmate, they went to school together. And then he just get up in the morning and said to me, you know what, I don't feel comfortable with this lump, boom, I'm going to the doctor. Go to him immediately, paperwork, boom, write this, send him to the lab, this, you pay the money and he gets you and all is done. You don't have to be waiting like 7 months, 8 months. So a lot of people thinking like, oh no, the health service not good. And I work in the health service in the United Kingdom, and sometimes the health care is even worse because they give you some medication. My mom had a stroke, and how long it took them to come and see my mom. So, at the end of the day, there's no way perfect. It just depends on how you live and your connection,
yes, definitely. And even the medical care having to pay here, the price people pay isn't that much. Because I've seen people who puts up videos who they're in America, they're in the UK, and they come here and pay for their dental care and pay for certain medical care because they say that it's not as costly. And I was watching a lady the other day, and she was saying that she went over to the US and she went to her GP there. And the doctor there was saying to her, so why didn't you go to the doctor in the UK, in Jamaica, because they're just as good.
Yeah,
and so she was like, since then she has now decided that she'll do her checkup here because they're going to be giving her the care. I was watching another lady and she was saying that she was on this medication there, and when she came here, the doctors here took her off of that, give her different medication, and she's been so much better. So the honest picture of it is that yes, Jamaica, like anywhere else where you have free healthcare, which we do have free healthcare.
Yeah, we do have it.
It's going to struggle.
But for us coming back home, we don't want to go do the
no, because we don't want the wait.
We don't. Definitely, it's the wait because
exactly.
The other day, my daughter was supposed to go to the dentist, and it is free here. And a friend of mine, she's also from the UK, and she said, "Why don't you take her to the clinic? The clinic is beautiful." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to take her to the clinic." But when I went up there, and when the lady said to me, "Yes, you can come early in the morning and register her," and then, but when I look at the waiting time, and I said, "Oh, tomorrow," I was like, "No, I can't bother you." But typical Jamaican, they just take it as being a normal life.
Yeah.
And they go and sit down and wait. My other daughter, she have eczema. And she saw day her eczema flare up. I just took her to Mandeville, the dermatologist, lovely woman. Within a week, my daughter's skin was perfectly clean, clear up. When I'm in the UK, I just go, they just give me some cream, I just rub the cream on her. They didn't go through to give her the test and to give her medication. No, when I look at my daughter, I was like, wow.
And you'd have to wait. And you are going to go through those processes there. You
and
have
I just
to be on a
come pay
waiting
my
list.
dermatologist money. Quick stick, really lovely woman, and especially for my daughter, they like when they go to doctors here because they treat them like human beings.
Yeah. And the other thing people like to talk about is the crime, and because they hear about it so much, they don't recognize the first of all how significantly that has reduced over the last 5 years. It's at the best it has been in over 25 years now, according to the statistics and the details that's been posted out there. But what's been your experience with regards to that? Do you feel unsafe or threatened or worried when you are going out by yourself or with your children?
Can I be honest to God? I don't, and the reason why I don't, I know I'm living a clean life. I know I'm not involved in no wrongdoing with no one. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
Remember, Kenya, I lived here until I was 27. I went to the United Kingdom, and I stayed in the United Kingdom for almost 27 years, and I'm back in Jamaica every year. And to be honest, touch wood, nothing happened. So I'm not planning on nothing happen. I don't know. I'm just living a normal life. You understand me? Yeah. I don't have that in my head. I don't. Number one, I don't go out at night. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
I try to keep as safe as ever. I stay indoor. I don't argue with people. I try to, I just try to live a normal life. Do you understand me? So I just pray God, I don't think it's going to come my way. It depends, because my neighbor, she's been back here for 35 years from the United Kingdom. And she have never, more than the little workman, they come and they put up the bill a little more expensive.
Yeah.
But she's now 95, living in her home, and she feels safe. Do you understand me? So It all depends, but we just pray to God that we're going to be safe.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat as you. I feel safe going out. I feel perfectly fine. I mean, I know, and our children feel safe.
Yeah, my kids, they get up on the outside. Yeah, we don't let our kids run up and down, but we go to the market and supermarket them, and they talk to people, they communicate, they come home. You understand me? My kids, we don't let them how to go neighbor's house or everything, because I'm here looking after my kids, so they're always on my arm.
They only go to school without us.
School, and then I paid for them to go to the school. I take the other one to school, and you know what? But the thing about it, Kenya, we're trying to do, we don't want people to be living up in. We're talking about the UK because that's where we're living, and especially Jamaicans that want to come home and they're like, oh, the crime, the this and the that, and then they tell you that they're not happy in the UK. You gotta move.
It doesn't change. Yeah, and they need to realize that it's not as bad here. I mean, surviving, if you have your own place and you come back, you can get on perfectly fine without a heavy bill and expenditure on your hands. And so, people need to see that it's a good possibility to be able to come back if that's what they choose and that's what they want to do.
And
not
for
to be
the
that
kids,
worried.
them to continue with the generation thread. They need to know that, right now, I'm so happy my kids are here now. They know they're Jamaican. Their generation can be Jamaican, and we keep it moving, keep it rolling. Do you understand me? We can't, because at the end of the day, no matter what, especially we black people, we're not British. You're going to hear, where are you from?
Exactly. And it gives our children this sense of identity, connectivity, and confidence when they get to come here and explore and get that treatment that they get that
where
here
are
in
you
the
from?
country. Because we are constantly being asked that. No matter how we sound, no matter how we look, we're constantly going to be asked. And when you say you're from that place, they say, oh, so where are your parents from? When you say your parents are from that place, they say, where are your grandparents? And they keep going because it's been made clear. This is not where you're from. So I'm glad that you were able to, just sit down and have this honest conversation, because it's people want to come home. And they need to recognize that they don't need to be afraid of coming home, because coming home is definitely something that they can do. They just need to plan it out and decide what's going to work out best for them, and then just execute on it.
Okay.
Like we did.
And I'm quite happy here. 100% quite happy. Mentally, every alleyway you think of, I am here.
Thank you so much. So guys, there you have it. There you have it. Moving back to Jamaica is very possible, and it's very possible to be here and be happy and be joyful. And we do know that things happen to people in wherever you go. I experience crime in the UK. People experience crime in different parts of the world. We just have, as Raquel said, we just have to make sure that the things we are doing, we're making sure that we're taking all the necessary precautions so that we can be safe. Hey, Eliona, I know it's exam time and you're busy trying to do your exam prep, but how do you think it's coming along for you?
It's going well. I haven't said all of them yet, but the most important ones and the closest ones up to this time I've studied so far.
Okay, because I know you did your study timetable and you started to do your study notes and everything, so you feel like you're prepared for it?
For the ones I've studied so far.
Okay. So what's the biggest worry you have going into the exam?
That I won't pass the subjects I need for next year.
Okay. And what's the biggest confidence you have? What are you most confident about?
That I technically have more knowledge about the subjects I need next year than the other people in my class.
Okay. So you feel like you're able to you're confident about the amount of knowledge you have acquired so far. Okay, so then that means you're thinking about strategies that you need to develop in order to ensure that you're remembering it.
And I did good last year, and last year the strategy I used was mind maps, especially for the sciences. And when I was in year 7, I used flashcards.
Okay. And this time
doesn't work for me anymore, and my maps don't work for me anymore, so I've just been doing it somewhere.
Okay.
Since we have more topics to cover this year.
And then reviewing some of the exams and progress tests and everything that you've had so far.
Like, for example, for maths, I'm not practicing it, I'm just memorizing all of the formulas. For algebra, I don't really need to be concerned about algebra, because because for me algebra isn't really that hard.
Mm-hmm.
But like for consumer arithmetic, I just have to memorize the formulas, and I've done the triangle formula and the box one that I was showing in my class.
Yeah.
The box one. I don't know if it actually exists. We just use it because we can buy it for a 30.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good way, from what you came up with, how you derive that formula. It's a good way to remember it and easy way to remember it. And so it was good that you had the opportunity to share it with your class.
Although when I used it in maths, the maths teacher was very vexed.
But he didn't have a problem with you sharing it with the class then after.
No.
Okay. So any other subjects that you might feel like, oh, this is one that I need to be really concerned about going forward?
Like that I'm going to need concern?
That you know that you need to be concerned about because you need to put extra effort and attention to that one.
English B.
Is that literature? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's one that you think you're from the school's pass mark, you're passing it, but from your own personal expectation, you're not passing it. So you need to do some more work at it.
I normally set a passing mark for myself for each subject, and lots of people think that it's harsh.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, maths, especially the maths that we're learning now, for me it's not hard. It's simple. So when I make these mistakes on the test and I don't pass some of them, I'm obviously going to be annoyed with myself. So for maths, I set my passing grade to be at least 90 to 95. And that's what I would say. And for physics, at least 80 or 90.
So have you come up with any ideas or strategies that you can implement so far? Or
No, because she said that our English retest is only an hour and 40 minutes, according to the timetable. And in the test, we have about 20, she said about 20 to 25 multiple tries, 2 essays, and 15 short answer. The 2 essays are based off the 2 books that we've read so far. I personally cannot even write one essay in that one hour. And then I have the multiple choice and then the other essay and the short answer. And I can't even remember the book. Because one of them, for me, in my opinion, is just like, it's a bit boring. It's not like hooking me. And the other one, I just never remember what on earth is happening there because it's so much that is happening. And when I'm reading this, I'm like, I thought that this was happening, but then this is happening, and now this is happening, and now, and I can't even keep up anymore. So then I'm thinking about the 2 books, and then, for example, they said something, and then I'm saying, oh, but I thought it was this, and then they say, no, that's for the next book. So I'm still thinking, wasn't that? And then I can't keep up with those things, and I don't like reading like that because, especially when it's something I'm not interested in, if I'm not interested in something, I'm less likely to be able to remember what's happening.
So I think one of the things you did last year with literature was you watched a set of YouTube videos that gave you summaries of the different books and how to address them. And so that's probably something you can implement again, which saves you from having to go through some of the tedious work of having to read and reread, because at least that way it gives you types of exam style questions and also how to break it down and answer it, as well as give you some other insights about the summarizing of the different literature resources. And that helped last year, didn't it? So it's another strategy again for this year.
As well as that, I think I'm going to listen to someone reading the book, like as a podcast, because I'm ready to remember something if I'm hearing it than if I'm reading it, because I'm just not going to remember.
Okay, so, and you have, as a learner, you just have to do what works for you as the type of learner that you are, because different people have different learning styles. And although we want to expose ourselves to all of those learning styles, we normally need to make sure that at the appropriate times we're using the ones that are our default setting so that we can maximize our outcomes. So it's fine if that's how you want to go. But I wish you all the best, and I know that you are preparing for your exam and you will do well on them. So I'll let you get back to your studying. Okay. Jam from Tribe, I tell you that here in Jamaica we learn how to share all the time, and so one of my friend Raquel from Returnee Rack, a YouTube channel, came by to visit, and this is what she brought for me. So she had her planting in her garden and it became mature, and so she cut it down, and so she was coming up here to visit and she brought me this. And as she's going back, she went back with a piece of yam that my father brought yam, and so he was able to give her some yam to take along with her as well. So this is what we do. We have things, you share it with each other here. And sometimes I don't think people quite understand the number of returning residents that are actually here on the island, and enough are we there, enough are we. So it is worth going and seeing, you know, some of the people who have returned and their experiences, because trust me, we all have different ways in which we tell our story, and different ways in which our experiences are. And so it is worth seeing life from each person's perspective, because Jamaica have many different experiences that we can all garner. So now I'm going to have plantings. I'm just going to leave them so that they can ripe, because I know that Eliona likes the ripe plantings. So I will leave it so it can ripe so that she can have them to eat. And we just keep sharing with each other, share our experiences, you know, share the provisions that we have, because it's part and parcel of the experience that we're curating here on the island for ourselves. So be mindful that there are many experiences that you can have.
The Jamaican family, where I living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. Jam Fam, come hang with me. The Jam Fam family, where I living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. Jam Fam, come hang with me. The Jam Fam family, Jam Fam, come hang with me, yeah.
Safe. Thank you so much for staying with us here on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. Bye for now. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.